Hello, and welcome to Spooky Tales with Isaac Blood. Simply named because I'm Isaac Blood and I tell spooky tales. Are you ready? Let's get spooky. Here I am on location at St. Mary's Graveyard in Scarborough. Not to be mistaken with St. Mary's Graveyard in Whitby, another iconic landmark. Although this one is just as interesting, if not more so. It dates back to 1150, when the first Norman church was built here, and the burial ground was laid out alongside it. In 1189, the site was given to the Cistercian Abbey of Situ, before later passing to Bridlington Priory in the 1400s. For centuries, it served as a final resting place for local townsfolk, merchants, and families of the gentry. The graveyard's most dramatic chapter came during the English Civil War. Between 1642 and 1645, Parliamentarian forces used the graveyard as an artillery position to bombard Scarborough Castle. In return, Royalist fire heavily damaged the church itself. It was rebuilt in the late 1600s, and burials continued as normal. The 18th and 19th centuries were its busiest years. Most of the headstones you see date from 1700 to 1850, reflecting Scarborough's growth from a fishing town to one of Britain's first popular seaside resorts. This period also brought its most famous burial, Anne Bronte. The youngest of the Bronte sisters was laid to rest here on the 30th of May 1849. She came to Scarborough hoping the sea air would improve her health, but sadly died just days after arriving. She remains the only Bronte not buried in Haworth. And of course, as I mentioned in a previous video, Haunted Scarborough Part 1, Lydia Bell is supposedly buried in the graveyard in an unmarked spot. And if you haven't seen that video, please do give it a watch, and you will learn more about this Lydia Bell. Regular burials at St. Mary's Graveyard stopped around the mid-19th century, when new cemeteries opened at Dean Road and Manor Road to take the growing number of interments. More than just a resting place, St. Mary's Graveyard is a quiet landmark that connects Scarborough's medieval past, its wartime history, and its place in English literature. Today, St. Mary's Graveyard is a protected heritage site, part of the Grade 1 listed church. And of course, a graveyard being a graveyard, it has its fair share of spooky tales. Legend has it, if you visit the graveyard on St. Mark's Eve, 24th of April, at midnight, of course midnight, it's always midnight, you will see a procession of all the local people who will die within the year. Allegedly, on St. Mark's Eve, in 1876, a lady did visit the graveyard with a friend to see if they could recognise anyone in the line. Talk about morbid curiosity. Oh, and she did see someone she recognised. She saw herself. This encounter scared her so much, she died on the spot. The graveyard is also supposedly home to the ghost of a witch named Jenny Nicholson, who was buried there. It is also widely believed by locals that she was a vampire as well as a witch. Wow, a ghost, a witch, and a vampire? Respect. In the Gothic world, that's known as a triple threat. That's not true. Just made it up. According to legend, her spirit walks the streets of Scarborough late at night, feeding on the breath of sick children. So, if you're on a night out in Scarborough and you see someone who looks like a ghost, a witch, and a vampire, doesn't really narrow it down, does it? Want to hear more spooky tales? Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you soon. stay spooky.